from the beloved Christmas channel. I found a recipe for Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies and I decided to give it a shot. I was a Girl Scout from 1st grade until 8th grade. I did trips, I sold cookies, I earned badges, I had a wonderful time and I loved the cookies. Ingredients: we have a stick of butter, 1 egg, 1 cup of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of peppermint extract, a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ½ cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, and 1 cup of flour. Let's see if we can make this into cookies. To begin, we are going to cream our butter and our sugar. Okay. So, there it is, all of our wet ingredients well incorporated together. In another bowl, we're going to mix our dry ingredients, our flour, our cocoa powder. So now we're going to mix our dry ingredients together. Alright, so I'm just going to whisk all those dry ingredients together real good. We're going to add our wet into our dry in portions. Okay, that's one. Now we're going to add the other portion. Okay, so mixing this up just about there. It's a very dry dough. Okay, it's actually more dry than I was expecting it to be. There it is. Now we are going to wrap our cookie dough. Whoop, careful aim. Plastic wrap. There we go. And now for our dough. Put that to the side. And now we're going to wrap this and stick it in the fridge for 30 minutes to an hour. Recipe says you can put it in overnight, but if you do that, make sure to thaw it for 10 minutes before you start working it in the morning. Alright, now we're going to prepare to do the next part. The dough's been in the fridge for about an hour now, so I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 and I'm going to prepare my pan. So now we are going to prep our cookie sheet with some parchment paper. Alright, so this recipe itself seemed rather low in flour, so the recipe read to roll it out with flour. I usually just use 2 pieces of parchment, but we'll do what the recipe says. Hold up, let's move this over. There we go. Now normally when cutting out cookie rounds like this, my 1 round cutter's too big. It's 2½ inches, and those would just be too big. Because it would be like that. It seems a bit much for, you know, Girl Scout cookies. Some of you, I'm sure, are disagreeing with me highly now. That's fine. Anyway, so it's March, and I found 3 mystery cookie cutters in the bottom of my drawer. One was a complete mystery, I couldn't identify it. One was a poodle and the other was a pear. And I didn't really want to use either of those. And then I remembered I had some Halloween cookie cutters, so we're going to make moons and houses. So first thing we're going to do is get some flour and roll this out. So I'll actually put this down. And let's flour. Okay. Oh. And we're going to roll this out to about 1/8 of an inch thick. Remember to always keep it moving, because otherwise it will become uneven. Ooh, oven's ready. I am re-rolling this because I had it too thick. There we go. You want it to be about 1/8 of an inch. And that is very thin, but these are thin mints. Okay, so yeah, that's about 1/8 of an inch. So let's try this again. And I got my moons and my houses. Make some houses. This dough is really nice to work with. It can't all be perfect. This is the first time I've ever done this recipe. So I'm erring on the side of forgiving myself. Now we can roll out a little bit more of this. Okay. I'm going to slide this parchment onto the pan. There we go. I'm going to just make a couple more pieces and we'll be ready to put this in the oven. Make the moons. I really like this moon cutter. I think this is really nice. Okay, so now our cookies are going to go they can go into the refrigerator, firm up a little bit more if we're caring about them holding their shape, or they can go directly in the oven. Their shapes are already wonky. I think I'm just going to put them in the oven. The worst that'll happen is they'll be just like a little too puffy and their edges won't be perfect, but whatever. Okay, these are going to bake for 10 to 12 minutes or until the tops are matte. Let's check them. We'll see if the tops are matte or not. No, not quite. They need a couple more minutes, so we'll just stick them back in there. Let's check it again. Oh, that's better. All right, that's much better. So we're going to give this a time to cool. And then we're going to melt some compound chocolate and dip these cookies and finish them off. My microwave is off camera enough. It's just not in a convenient place at this time for me to use it. Oops, that way. Okay. Now, I am mixing light cocoa candy melts and I have dark chocolate candy melts. So I'm going to mix the two together and get a middle chocolate. So I'm going to, actually, you know what? Screw the microwave. I'm going to melt this using Movie Magic. And just like that, it's melted. And there's a spoon in it. Amazing. I love Movie Magic. Okay. So once we get this all melted, we're just going to dip our cookies and then let them cool. Alright, so now we're just going to dip this cookie. Alright. Trying to touch this as little as possible, but that's rather difficult under the circumstances. Come on. Oh, that one broke. Oh, no, it broke. All right, you're gonna go over there. So, well, those are gonna cool, and then I'm gonna plate them up. But in the meantime, I had one that didn't make it. One of my little cookie houses broke in half. So I'm gonna use that because broken cookies are just as good as any other cookie, right? Okay. This is like really like a Thin Mint, a Girl Scout Thin Mint, only better because it's fresh. It just came out of the oven. Don't worry, Girl Scouts. I'll still be purchasing from you. I think you're a worthy cause. These are really good. Hi, good morning, Joey.
Good morning.
You know what I did last night?
What did you do last night?
I made something. Surprise, surprise, right? Okay, so last night I made
chocolate.
So last night I made Girl Scout inspired Thin Mint cookies, and oh, here it comes. It was the gravitational pull of the Cookie Monster force. Go ahead.
They look like half moons. Is that intentional?
Well, I'm going to tell you the story of how that happened.
Okay.
All right, so they're supposed to have cookie cutter rounds, right? Mm-hmm. My circle is almost 3 inches wide, and that's a really big cookie. So I went to find out what other cookie cutters I had, and all I had was a pear, a poodle, and Halloween. So I decided to go with Halloween.
Okie doke.
So how are they?
They're a little on the chewy side, but they're good.
I know, I could have made them a little thinner.
I like them. If you'd like to try these and other videos with crazy concoctions such as this, like and subscribe. We're bound to have plenty more for you in the future.
Bye! Thanks for watching. For more beloved Christmas content like this, hit the subscribe button and make sure those notifications are turned on so you don't miss a thing.